Hey, good day everyone. Hey, this is Wally with Reloading Systems. I'm going to show you why I built the trommel. This is a roll sorter. So the problem with the roll sorter is when a case gets on top of a case, it'll actually, see how that is right there? That's going to drop into the wrong area. I'm going to walk you around. Here is the 9mm, and you can see we're getting 223 in there, and we're running at this speed. It is not terrifically fast as far as the speed. I'm not pushing it. We could run it a lot faster, but we get 223 in our 9mm. And then we moved over to the 40 bucket. This is another problem. On a roll sorter, they're following each other. So there's a 40 with a 223, so that causes it to go into the 40 slot. And here's another one in the 40 bucket. So I'm going to walk over in just random buckets, no thought on that. There's my 9mm, there's 223. There's other 9mm bucket, 1, 2, 2, 3. 9mm bucket, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. And it's not the end of the world, but it is a pain in the neck to have to go back. And these are just random buckets. There's a 40 bucket with 223 sticking out. Quite a bit of 223 in with the 40. That's because the cases are embedded and they follow themselves down. There you go. There's a 223 bucket with a 9mm on it. And then tons of 223 in that bucket. So basically what we have, and again, running this speed, which is kind of, I would say, kind of slow. But for accuracy reasons, I'm trying to do a test as far as accuracy. And everything in those buckets have been run at this speed. My theory on the trommel is when it's turning, we on embed over 75% of the cases. When I go to this 40 bucket, if I rerun this bucket, I'm going to have about 1,000 9mm that were embedded into the case like this. And you see how that just fell out? Well, if that went through the trommel would have dislodged that 9mm and you wouldn't have to run the 40 a second time. So what I'm doing here is I ran my new trommel end all brass sorter. I ran a 5-gallon bucket and I ran it slower. I did a 5-gallon bucket in 15 minutes with a 100% short. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to run this at this speed rate. There is 5 gallons in the hopper. I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to take the buckets out and then we're going to run the test. And we got a timer going right here. I'm already 5 minutes into this test and I'm going to let you know what I get. Okay, so I ran at that speed rate on the roll sorter. Bins are properly spaced and centered and everything. You saw we're 10 minutes in and where we're at. Here's what I'm getting. Here's the brass. You can see there's some 223s down in the bottom. This is what I did, a 5-gallon bucket off of the roll sorter running at that rate. And look at how many 380s that this thing has pulled out. So the roll sorter, when the 9 and the 380 are touching, they can also transfer on where the ball will bring it and dump it off. with the game changer or trommel, that it can't drop through the wrong caliper. It's a screen. So the 380s cannot drop unless you run it too fast. So I'm trying to be subjective on this test run and run everything at a slow and trying to achieve 100% sorts. So you just saw how those cases piggyback. See how that's standing up? That just allows it to drop in the wrong slot. There is a place for roll sorting, but I don't know about mass sorting. The trommel has proven itself to be much, much better effective. See how they're standing up? Now we're at 14 minutes and 46 seconds. My test that I posted was the same amount of brass in 15 minutes, 100% sort with my new sorter. So we would have been done right now. And here's where we sat. So we're about halfway through. So I would have to say my sorter is twice as fast as the roll sorter. Now I'm going to crank it up. I'm going to crank the feed rate up. That's about what I'm dropping, but look at what we end up with. Just a frickin' mess on the rail. So that was just a horrible sort. Now with the roll sort, I can turn this down slower to drop it. I can also turn the roller speeds way down or faster, but when you're going fast like that, they're carrying past the point. I've been running one of these about 8 years, so I found what's best and effective. And I would say right there. So we're going to continue to let it run. We're going to continue to let it run. I'm going to turn that hopper speed up a little bit. I'm trying to be very subjective, not downplaying this machine by no means, but the facts are the facts. So I'm going to leave it, try to get it going as fast as I can to where they're not embedding, and that's how I have set it up. See how that case? The 5.7 in the case just dropped off in the 9mm. So we're at 1642. Still have a bunch of brass. I'll turn this back on. I think you got the gist of it. I'll turn it back on when we're nearing the end. Okay, I went looking for that 5.7. Here it is. It's in the 40 bucket. That's because the case was inside of the 40, so it brings it down to drop it in that bucket. Now I just found a 9mm embedded in the bucket. If I shake this thing, it'll come apart. When it's in a trommel, that would separate and we would have it. The other problem with this is you see how they drop in? Frickin' makes a mess. Brass everywhere. Yes, you could shim this up, but you need room to pull the buckets out. Now normally the 5.7 would drop right here. 22s will drop right here. We're still running at that same feed rate. We are now approaching 20 minutes and brass wise. So what I thought were going to be about a half hour, but we'll let it run in. Let's see. Now just running that at that slow speed, I just noticed this. There's already two 223s in there, and you can see the 223 buckets right here, and you can see I have bin separation This is a 380. This is a 9mm. So this screen is 100% set to drop in the bins, and it's hard to see. So it's not a machine setup issue. It is purely the 9mm was around the 223, carries it to that slot. Alright, so here's another thing. The first slot here is 380, 223. You'll see them drop in. The second slot is 9mm. That's the area. Here comes the 223. And you can see it drops in. See how the 223 drops in? You see how the 223 was just in a 45 that passed? See how rifle case is on top of another one, just flew on the floor? And again, look at how slow I'm running it. So, why buy a roll sorter? I'm not sure. We're almost done. We're at 26 minutes. My game changer that I sell for $1,250 will do a 5-gallon bucket in about 35 minutes. This machine here runs about 8,000. Yes, it is definitely more industrial. Has better controls and everything. But for the average person, it's a bit of money. Now, if you're a big OEM and you want to sort the 5.7s and all that, I understand that. But I also make screens that'll do it. Like this is 30 carbine, 9mm, 7.62 by 39, 45, anything over 45 on this side. So there we go. There goes a 223 drop. We'll pause it and I'll let you know when it's empty. Alright, we're just coming up to the end. 41 minutes. So my Game Changer XL for half the cost of this machine would do that in, I'm going to say 30 to 35 minutes at 100%. Now we're going to go here. There's 9mm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. Now I'm going to show you something that I have this mounted right. I'm going to drop a few cases, 9mm, and they're coming out in the bin. So we're going to drop these 9mm. I'm going to drop them slow. This is where the 380 would drop to show you that I have the bin set up right. So we are going to drop them. Nice trail. Everything's in line. All came out of the 9mm. So accuracy, 90%. 40 minutes, 41 minutes, 5-gallon hopper. The manufacturer says that you can do that whole hopper in, I think 30 minutes, I was told when I bought this. But in fact, you saw the test. It's not what it claims. But if you're looking for brass sorting equipment, go to reloadingsystems.com. If you don't see it listed there, I'll build it for you. My big thing is accuracy, to make it accurate. And I'll be honest, I fill this hopper up. I run this thing a lot slower. I literally spend an hour and a half per hopper, but even then my sort, I showed you the bucket. And then that's why we got to have multiple units. My newest Trommel will do what both of these do for about half the cost, and it will be 100% accurate. So again, go to reloadingsystems.com. Shout at me if you ever have brass sorting equipment questions. Thank you for your time. One last note, the whole reason for this test was I get contacted daily, people looking at roll sorters, and they have a ton of questions. So I did the test to be as honest I absolutely possibly could, and the test results showed I really didn't have some of the answers that guys were asking. So I spent a day just running different tests to see where we were at. So the proof's in the pudding, proof's in the test. So there's information. Why would you buy a trommel versus a roll sorter? There's information. You make your own decision. Not trying to push you anyway, but wanted to see more information and be able to supply you guys with the best information that I possibly could. Now I build these feeder bowls. I have 47 feeder bowls right now in stock, built, ready to go, or need. So with the roll sorter over the years, it worked fine because every single one of these is waiting to go into a bowl. So I outer diameter sort, and then we put everything in a bowl. So food for thought, shout at me. I'm here to solve all the problems with brass sorting. Thank you.